Hi, I'm Andrea from Pink Cake Princess. The Lego movie's coming out this Friday and I've created a couple of Lego cupcakes to celebrate. Don't forget to check out the Lego Blocks cupcake as well. This is the Lego figurine or the Lego man cupcake. You can also find the Lego Ninjago cake toppers on my YouTube channel as well. They can go on top of your cakes as they're a larger type of figurine. Okay, to start off with, I'm just going to ice a regular size cupcake. I'm using buttercream and my offset spatula to create a semi-domed finish. Next, I'll be rolling out some fondant icing. You can find out more about fondant icing and a list of materials in the video description below. Okay, so I'm rolling it out fairly thick and I'm using my little daughter's Lego figurine as a guide. I'm using my palette knife to basically cut out a rectangle shape. I haven't exactly measured it, but I've used my ruler just to show you what I've actually cut out there. And that's basically it there. I'm just dusting it so that it doesn't stick. And now I'm just going to use my palette knife to do an indent. And then I'm just going to use my palette knife just to press the thicker section or the wider section down. And then another indent at the top. And I'm just trying to create that shape of the Lego's leg. And then I'm flattening that bit in the middle. Okay, next I'm going to just cut out the portion in the middle so that they do look like legs, and then just squishing it around with my palette knife to separate them. Okay, now I'm just going to put two little indents at the top and then squishing it down so it looks more proportioned to the size that I want. And then using a small straw, I'm just going to put two little indents at the bottom of his legs, and then using the bottom of my brush just to put little holes there. You can use your palette knife to straighten the legs up again if they've squished out of place. Okay, now just checking that they do stand and dusting them so that they don't stick. Okay, now my Lego man's going to be sitting down, but you can make him standing, well, you can make him stand up as well if you wanted to. Okay, now next rolling out some red fondant, still keeping it fairly thick. And then I'm just going to cut out a shape that's basically a rectangle, but just slightly tapered in at the top. Smoothing it over with my fingers and then checking it on top of the legs to make sure that the right proportions. And checking on the cupcake to make sure that it does stand if I want my figurine to stand up later. Okay, so now rolling out some more red fondant, I'm just rolling it out to a long sausage shape, and then I'm just making one end slightly smaller and then cutting off a little arm and smoothing the edges over. Same thing with the other end and cutting it off so that it's the same portion size. Using the bottom of my brush just to put two little indents in the arms, well, one on each, and then using my palette knife just to put a little indent so that the arm can fold slightly. And that's it so far. Now I'm going to just assemble it with some water to glue it all together. Now it is a little bit more fiddly with water as it doesn't stick straight away, so you just have to hold it in place and keep it lying flat so that it does stick. If you keep picking up, it will just eventually fall over if it hasn't had enough time to dry. Okay, now onto some yellow fondant. I'm just rolling it out and keeping it fairly thick. I think it's about 1 centimeter thick, and that's my thick straw as well, which is about 1 centimeter. Okay, so just cutting out the little head, just smoothing it over. It would have been easy to get out if I'd cut my straw section down, but I forgot to do that. Okay, now rolling out some more yellow fondant, slightly flatter this time, and then using a medium-sized straw, I think it's about 8 mils across, and I'm just going to cut out a couple of discs of fondant. And like I said, it would have been easy to get out if I'd trimmed that straw down as well. Okay, now using a little bit of water, I'm just going to stick one disc on top of the red section to make the neck, and then sticking on the head, and then finally sticking on the final bit at the top of the head. Again, checking to make sure that everything stands. Now rolling out a little bit more yellow fondant and using my medium-sized straw. I'm just going to cut out 2 more discs of fondant. And then I'm going to use my little straw just to cut out a section to create like a crescent shape. Now these are going to be the tiny little hands. And again, the second one there, and just trimming off the little pointy bits if you don't like them there, or you can smooth them over with your fingers. Now just gluing it onto the little red arms. Now that wasn't set properly, so it fell off, but if you let it set enough and try not to pick it up, you can assemble it while it's lying down. Or you can use edible glue, which there is a tutorial on my channel if you want to see how to create that. It just glues more securely than water would and dries quicker. And at this stage, I'd like to ask you guys to be really awesome and click that subscribe button, and also let me know how you played with your Legos as a child. My kids are loving their Legos. They received a whole bunch for Christmas, and they're going crazy with them. Okay, so now I've cut out a rectangle, well, it's almost a square, but a slightly rectangle shape white piece of fondant, and I'm using my little circle cutter to cut out a whole bunch of little disc of fondants. Now I'm just gluing it on with my water and brush, and just checking that the legs don't get in the way. Okay, just gently pressing them down where I've placed the water, and just the two at the front, because he's just going to sit slightly back. Now at this stage you can make him stand up or sit down, and here are the dimensions for that the white block if you really want them, but I just measured them off the yellow block that I used earlier. Okay, so I'm using a little bit of black food dye. I'm just painting on a face. You can also use edible markers, but this is what I just had on hand. Okay, and now I'm just gluing him together. At this stage you can make him stand up if you want. If you do, just add a few more little white dots where he isn't sitting. And that's it. Just fixing the little hole in his head there, and then finally I'm just going to stick him on the cupcake with some water. And that's the little Lego man. He is slightly bigger than the actual figurine, but that's how I wanted to make him, so he's more proportioned to my block cupcake, which is basically the same shape as the blocks. Okay, that's it. Thanks again for watching, guys. Thank you for supporting by subscribing, commenting, and sharing and liking my work. And if you want to see the Lego Ninjago figurines for your cakes, you can do that on my channel as well. There is a tutorial up already. It's a bigger figurine that can sit on your cakes. And you can also use the little blocks to create the bottom of this particular cake as well. Okay, thanks again for watching, guys, and you guys have a fantastic day. Bye for now. You guys take care.